The officer was about to shoot the man, but the man started eating an apple. Suddenly, the boy beside him began to sing. Surprisingly, the officer put away his gun. However, the soldier said that one more execution was still needed for that day. The officer turned around and took a look. Just then, a prisoner happened to pass by. The officer picked up the prisoner's hat and threw it into the distance.
Bring sich her.
The officer shot him dead directly.
Nummern aufgeschrieben.
At this moment, the overseer was distributing food, and the prisoners were fighting for the food. Then an old prisoner was knocked down. This was Auschwitz. They would stop at nothing to reach the quota. At night, the officer threw out the eaten sausage. The prisoners rushed to grab it. The officer took out more sausages and asked the prisoners to slap each other in the face the next second. One prisoner finally fell down, but the officer said,
Nicht so schnell! Das ist erst die erste Runde!
The soldiers laughed loudly. The officer turned around and pointed at the little boy. So the man protected the boy behind him. The overseer grabbed the man and took him in front of the winner. The man dodged the attacks twice in a row. Then the overseer stepped in himself, but he fell to the ground directly. Just as he was about to teach the man a lesson, he was stopped by the officer. The officer who had learned boxing also wanted to have a try. The man would get food if he won. He stood on the stage, clenched his fists, but didn't move. And the officer knew that this was the boxing etiquette. After touching fists, the officer immediately launched an attack. The man dodged at once. The officer began to take it seriously. But no matter how the officer attacked, the man wasn't hurt, and he immediately counterattacked with a punch. The overseer was about to beat the man, but was stopped by the officer. The officer realized that the man was actually a boxing champion. Finally, the man took the bread. He shared it with his fellow prisoners. But when the boy had only eaten half of it, he suddenly coughed violently. The man went to the officer for help, but the officer didn't agree. After the man left, the officer thought for a long time. He took the man in front of his superior and proposed arranging a boxing match for the man. The man had no choice but to agree.